name is Christopher Damiani. I'd like to welcome you to Cooking Well at Mercy Hospital. Today we're going to be going over stir-fry technique. It is a fast, easy cooking technique we're going to demonstrate for you. We're going to do it right here live in our hospital, in our cafe. Real quick, we're going to walk you through it. It's a 4-step cooking process. We're going to set our mise en place. We're going to sear our meat. We're going to cook it, and we're going to finish it, and you're all going to enjoy it and eat with me real quick. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to start off. We're going to look at our mise en place, making sure that everything's in its place. We want to look at our food products first. Now, because it's easy, and because I want it to be easy, and I want you to be able to get through it like I get through it, and I do this once a week at home. I interchange my proteins. It could be chicken, it could be shrimp, it could be lobster, it could be meat, it could be pork. But I do the same technique I'm going to show you right now with all those proteins. Everything is exactly the same. I went out and I got myself a bag of frozen Oriental veg blend or Japanese veg blend right from the freezer section. I went out and got some sauces. Today I got an orange sauce and I've got our General Tso's sauce. Both are available in any grocery store now. We've really moved up. We've got them available in all our local markets, so you can run in, get them. They're mainly comprised of sugar, soy, garlic, ginger, and crushed red pepper and chicken stock, and they're thickened. You can make them on your own if you feel like you really want to go the distance, but I recommend buying them because they're absolutely perfect. And believe it or not, all the Chinese restaurants buy them too. So not to pick on them, but we're going to go forward here. I got some rice. I used Uncle Ben's rice. I did it ahead of time. I'm just short of burner. Rice is very simple to cook. Unless you're feeding more than 5 people, you only want to do 1 cup of rice dry to 2 cups of water. Pour it right in your pan or your sauce pot. 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, maybe a pinch of salt, maybe a dash of pure olive oil. Okay? I bring it to a boil. As soon as the rice boils, I turn it down to a very, very low simmer, almost to nothing. I cover my pan. I push it forward on my stove. And I relax because my rice is going now. I set a timer because I've got 3 boys that like to run around and distract me and make me burn things, but it's not going to happen because I'm smart and I set my timer for 20 minutes, and when that timer goes off, I'm going to go over to my rice, I'm going to grab my fork, and I'm going to fluff it. And if I don't do it when that timer goes off at 20 minutes, and instead I leave my rice on the stove, I leave it there covered, and then I do my cooking technique, and the rice sits for 10 more minutes, my rice is going to be muddy, it's going to be gummy, it's going to be sticky rice. Not so nice. So close your eyes, imagine my rice is cooking. We've already done that step. 20 minutes, the timer's running now. My kids are circling me. They know food is cooking. They're like piranhas in the water. I get all my cooking utensils together. I get my pan of water. I put it on the stove and I fire it up right away. So my water's coming up to a boil. Now, because I'm a chef and I like things to be fancy all the time, as fancy as I can get them, I'm going to do my garnish right now while I'm waiting for my water to boil. So, simple garnishes today. We're going to take some sesame seeds. You can see that they are very bland. They're white. They're not toasted. You can get a good look at those. They're white. They need to bring out the oils. They need to bring out that toasted flavor. You can buy them pre-toasted, but I don't recommend it because when I toast the seeds fresh, I'm going to extract that oil out, and the flavor is more robust. It's going to give it that kick. It's going to make my food a little bit better, that little edge I need. So now I'm going to throw them in the pan. Who knew you could toast in a skillet? All right, or I'm sorry, a wok skillet. Okay, I put them in there. I yell bam or something, but I'm not. Now, I have my chicken also behind me. We're going to talk about chicken too. Right now, so far, we've got our vegetables. I'm taking my little sesame seeds. I'm going to show you how they're going to turn out because we're going to add them. They're beautiful toasted sesame seeds. You can almost see how they've gotten this new texture to them. They're kind of standing. I'm able to mound them up because that oil has released, just like every nut or every seed does. Pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, poppy seeds. You can see they almost stand on their own, and you can start to smell them. If you can smell these seeds right now, you know they're about to do what? That's right, Melanie, they're gonna burn. So I'm in a quick window, and I'm doing it, and they're getting there, but they're not burning yet, but they're starting to brown, just like garlic when I do it. We'll talk about garlic another day. So the seeds are toasting, the oil's coming out. I jump them, I'm using rapid movement, I'm staying over the heat. And if you notice, I haven't moved at all yet. My kids are circling me still. Dad, I want a drink. Dad, can I go hang out at a friend's house? I don't move, I'm ready to go. My rice is about 5 minutes in now. My water's coming up, my veg is ready. My lovely and talented sesame seeds are beautiful. My wife just walked in the house. She's a diversion. Now I'm free. The kids are all over Mom. I put my sesame seeds down. They're lightly toasted. I'm just going to gently wipe out the pan. I keep my pan on the heat. And we want it to be hot because it's going to be quick. When this all goes down, it's going to be fast. I'm going to make some garnishes real quick because it's got to be pretty. Believe it or not, you eat with your eyes. So I take my scallion, and you get that rough top, and if you can see it, what I've done is I've nipped it down. So I took about 1.5 inch, 2-inch scallion. I cut the top, and I roll it over, and I cut it here just about 1/2 inch into the green. I take my scallion, I put my knife through, and I do it numerous times. No problem. Doesn't matter if I make a mistake. You know, I learned a lot of this stuff from the actual Asian friends of mine that do wokkery at Wegmans. They've given me some great stories, some great advice. And I also worked in the wokkery, trained with them. So I'm going to drop this into my ice water. And if you look, I'll show you one that sat. We did this one at noon. You can see they just blow right up. They're pretty. They're called a scallion brush or a scallion fan. If you look over here, we've got some light agitation in our water right now. It's starting to vibrate. It's starting to get ready to go. So I'm going to say to myself, it's time to get this over with. We're going to make the chicken. Now, the chicken is a little bit trickier than you think, but we're going to make it simple. I went to the store. I got a pound of frozen veg. I got a pound of chicken, boneless chicken. I take my chicken and I clean it and I cut it really thin. You can almost see through it. You know, I cut it thin, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, and I just do it all so nice. And by doing that, it's going to cook really quick. So I've shortened my cooking time down, which is good because I want to get on to doing other things around my house. So I'm going to measure out about a pound. Chef, how do you know what a pound is? Well, I've been doing it for 30 years. We know. So you'll go out and get a pound of boneless chicken, throw it in there. That pound is 16 ounces. The portion size, when you eat, should be 4 to 5 ounces. So my pound should feed 4 people, okay? Unless you have 3 boys, all in their teenage years, who like to eat more like a 1/2 pound or 3/4 of a pound. Now, the secret. We are going to show you how to make your chicken a little better. I have some ice water in front of me. I'm going to take a little bit of water, about a tablespoon. I'm going to put it on top of that chicken. I'm going to swirl it around. But I want my chicken to be moist. I want it to be tender. I want it to be a cut above the next guy. So I'm going to I'm just going to measure my hand, maybe another tablespoon of cornstarch. I think this cornstarch is about $1. You probably had one sitting up in your cupboard. And I'm just going to gently put it over the chicken. And then I'm going to roll it right in there with my hand. And what I'm doing is I'm adding moisture and I'm adding a little cornstarch. Cornstarch is a natural thickener, and it's going to give my sauce body. It's going to give my sauce sheen. It's going to make viscosity. It's going to make my food good. So I'm going to swap my gloves out. I'm literally done with the nastiest part of my cooking in the kitchen because no one likes handling raw chicken. I don't care how you cut it. You just don't want to do it. Your body's going to reject it. My water's boiling. I'm going to try and get a pair of gloves on right now. Do I have gloves at home? No. So I do wash my hands a lot, believe it or not, because I really kind of despise the stickiness of raw chicken. All right. So now we are completely ready to cook. If you're going to have a drink of something, do it now, because once we start cooking, you can't walk away. My rice is going to finish in 5 minutes. It's imaginary. It's right here. My timer is going to go off. But now I'm going to go to my searing and cooking process. What I have is veg oil. And I'm going to put 2 full tablespoons of veg oil in my wok. And you can see that smoke. We're ready. I'm going to take my veg, my frozen vegetable that I got at my local grocery store. If I had, I'm going to add my chicken to my wok. I let it go in slow because I don't want to get burned. At home, I will use wood. In the hospital, we don't use wooden utensils. They are outlawed. So we have these really expensive spatulas that are made to withstand incredibly high heat. They will not melt. But at home, I want you to use something in your Teflon wok that costs 40 bucks that won't ruin your wok. Very important. And if you notice, I have an ancient wok in front of me. I bought it back in the 80s. I love it. I think Yan was still on TV back then. Believe it or not, if you live in Korea, you live in China, you live in the outlands where the rice fields are, that is the only piece of equipment you have in your kitchen. That is it. It takes a little more work to work on. You're going to clean it, and then you're going to rub it with oil, and you're going to have it. Because if someone steals your wok out in the fields of Korea or China, you're not having dinner. So I guard my wok because it's important. But now I'm lucky. I live here. I have Bed Bath & Beyond. I've got TJ Maxx. I steal into the back of TJ Maxx. I find this beautiful wok made of Kelphalon. It makes my cooking better. It makes my chicken beautiful. You can hear it rolling and roaring. So let's review. The buzzer just went off on my rice. I open my rice while my chicken's searing. I take my fork. I fluff. All the steam comes out. I'm very careful not to get in front of that steam. Steam is 8 times hotter than boiling water. It will bring you to your knees should you burn yourself. So my rice is fluffed. My chicken's going. It looks great. I love my Teflon wok. Nothing sticks. I can jump my vegetables. I can throw them in the air. I'm going to push my vegetables up the side of my wok. I want the entire surface to be making contact with my chicken. Chicken looks good. It's got some sear. It's got some color. And if you notice, we haven't added anything but cornstarch and water in seared chicken. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get a good view in there. All right, it's getting a little brown. That cornstarch is giving it a nice velvety texture. To my left, I took some frozen vegetables. I threw them in water. I didn't salt the water, okay? You notice I'm not cooking with any salt right now. There's no salt present except our big bottle of Kikkoman soy, and that's up to you if you want to use it. We're not going to touch it today. But when you do Chinese cooking, please take the salt off the table and go get yourself some soy. There is an awesome soy in the market now. It's a first press soy at your local supermarket. I'm going to jump one more time. My veg is to the surface. It looks good. Back to the salt. The reason I don't add the salt is because I don't want it in my diet. It's a silent killer. But it does keep your vegetables green. Now, I want to make sure my chicken's done, so I'm going to take a temp. But my probe is really thin and my chicken's thin. So what I do is I get multiple pieces on the end of that probe at once. Okay, and I'm looking for 165, and you know what? I'm at 136 right there, so I'm going to go a little more. I need 30 degrees. My wok's going, my burner's going. My rice is done. Right now I start calling for the kids to come out, get their drinks, get your table set. If you're brave enough to use chopsticks, go get them out of the drawer. Now, I'm going to take my vegetables, and I want to get them out of the water. All I did was get them hot. They're pre-cooked. I'm going to put them in my handy-dandy strainer and drain off any excess water before I dump it into my chicken. At home, if I had a little basket that I could just drop in here and pick it up, I would use it. I'm sure you've seen like an asparagus strainer, anything a little more easy to do, because I think this is a little complicated. I would just rather dump this in there and pull it straight out. We'll let that sit for a second. Jump my veg again, just to make sure it's done. My garnish is ready. I'm going to get my probe again. I'm going to go through my routine to double check to make sure I've killed any possible bacteria. If you see it now, I'm at 180, probably at 190. Let's drop in temp. There we go. What the heck is going on here? 173. We're good. We know the chicken's cooked, it's thin, and we're ready to go. I'm going to turn off that burner. I'm going to take my veg. I'm going to dump it right on my chicken. I'm going to turn off my heat to my chicken now. And because we did the General Tso's earlier, we're going to do the orange chicken. Pound of vegetables, pound of meat. You're going to use 12 ounces to 10 to 12 ounces. This is a 3-ounce ladle. That's 2. That's 3. 3 scoops of orange sauce. Orange sauce is basically sugar, soy, sesame oil, a little cornstarch. I'm going to toss it up real quick. I know Scott wanted a pretty shot of this. We're going to try and give him a nice look on it. I toss it all together. I turn off my stove, grab some tongs. We'll put our chicken down and our veggies. And like I said, you don't want a lot of chicken. It's about 4 ounces. Put a little broccoli in the middle, make it pretty. We're going to drop a little scallion on there, a touch of our sesame seeds. And it is orange chicken. We're going to take our scallion brush. I'm going to cut it in half and put that right on top. Okay, I'm going to set it right down. And voila, enjoy. Our stir fry's done. All right, girls. Whichever one you want. Enjoy. Sesame seeds go down there for you.
It's delicious.
Roasted lobster, roasted beef.
Excellent.
Fresh veggies, a little rice, a little French rice.
That was fantastic.
It's easy. And remember, next time you pick up the phone, you feel like ordering Chinese, don't do it.
Mercy good.